Have you ever wielded silence as a weapon, only to watch it backfire, creating a chasm of distance where you intended to build a bridge of desire? What if I told you there is a profound difference between the silence that screams insecurity and the silence that hums with an irresistible power, a quiet confidence that addicts a man to your very essence? This isn't about playing games or mastering manipulative tactics. It is about understanding a fundamental truth of human psychology. A secret that lies not in what you say, but in the potent energy you cultivate when you say nothing at all. This is the alchemy of feminine power, the art of turning quiet moments into a gravitational force that he simply cannot escape. Welcome back to Feminine Queen, the sanctuary for women who are ready to step into their innate power and lead with grace, wisdom, and an unshakable inner authority. Today we are not just talking, we are exploring the deep, resonant chambers of silence, guided by the profound insights of psychology and the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. We will decode why one form of silence repels, broadcasting neediness and fear, while another becomes an intoxicating mystery that pulls him closer, compelling him to earn his place in your orbit. You are a feminine queen, and your silence is not an absence of words, but a presence of power. It's time to learn how to master it. This journey is about reclaiming your most potent, non-verbal communication tool and transforming it from a source of anxiety into your ultimate source of magnetism. We will deconstruct the psychological triggers that make strategic silence so compelling and fortify that understanding with the Stoic principles of self-mastery and emotional resilience. Prepare to move beyond the superficial advice of just going quiet and step into the reality of embodying a silence so profound, so self-assured that it speaks volumes about your worth without you ever having to utter a single word. This is the secret that separates the girl who is ignored from the woman who is revered. 1. The Citadel of Silence versus the Crumbling Fortress. Let's be brutally honest, there is a silence born of fear, and it carries a stench of desperation that any man with a shred of intuition can smell from a mile away. Psychologically, this silence is not stillness. It is a state of high alert, a frantic internal monologue of, what is he thinking? Is he going to leave? Did I do something wrong? That leaks out as palpable, anxious energy. This isn't a strategy. It's a symptom of a crumbling inner fortress where your sense of self-worth is under siege, dependent on his validation for its very survival. This trembling energy repels because it communicates a profound vulnerability and an abdication of your own emotional throne. It's the energy of a subject, not a sovereign. Now contrast this with the silence that emanates from the Stoic concept of the inner citadel. This is a silence born not of fear, but of profound security. It is a quiet that radiates from a core so self-possessed and stable that it needs no external reassurance. It is the calm of a queen, observing her domain from an unassailable tower, unbothered by the comings and goings beyond her walls. This silence doesn't scream for attention. It commands it through its sheer, unshakable solidity. This is the silence that creates a vacuum he feels compelled to fill, not with his departure, but with his respectful pursuit. Number 2. Nestor's 2. The Alchemy of Authentic Withdrawal. The mistake many make is viewing withdrawal as a passive-aggressive punishment, a tactic to make him miss you. But the feminine queen understands that authentic withdrawal is a sacred act of alchemy. Psychologically, this isn't about him at all. It is a conscious, strategic return to your own source of power. It's the moment you stop pouring your precious psychic energy outward in an attempt to manage his feelings, and instead redirect it inward to refuel your own spirit. Think of it as a master artist stepping back from the canvas, not because she's angry with the painting, but to regain perspective and mix her colors with intention. Every moment spent in this intentional solitude is an act of royal reclamation, gathering scattered parts of yourself back to your sovereign core. This isn't playing dead to lure prey. It's the profound work of self-creation. The Stoic virtue at play here is self-sufficiency. You are demonstrating primarily to yourself that your well-being and fullness of life are not contingent on his presence. The space you create isn't an empty, desolate void begging for his return. It's a vibrant, thriving throne room being polished to blinding radiance. He senses this shift not as abandonment, but as the powerful hum of a self-sustaining universe, a vibration that pulls him toward its source, not from lack, but from a deep instinctual awe. 3. Sovereignty over the shadow realm. Here is where we must invoke the wisdom of Carl Jung, for the most toxic silence is born from the unlit dungeons of the psyche. The silence of the wounded ego is a puppet show mastered by the shadow self. All the unhealed abandonment issues, the repressed rage, the gnawing terror of being invisible. It masquerades as strength, a silent treatment, but it leaks emotional poison, a toxic miasma that chokes intimacy and signals deep internal conflict. A man instinctively recoils from this because he is not just feeling your silence, he is feeling the chaotic war waging within you. The true feminine queen achieves sovereignty by courageously descending into this inner shadow realm, in a process Carl Jung called individuation. She doesn't banish these fragmented, wounded parts of herself. She holds court, listens to their grievances, and integrates them with fierce, regal compassion. This isn't just self-help. It's the profound psychological work of unifying a divided kingdom. The resulting silence is therefore not the brittle quiet of suppression, but the deep, resonant peace of a realm fully consolidated under its true ruler. This is the Stoic ideal of inner harmony, where reason presides over unruly passions. When a man encounters this integrated presence, he doesn't feel the sharp edges of manipulation. He feels the profoundly unsettling magnetic pull of a woman who has mastered the very darkness he likely still fears within himself. Number 4. The throne of unassailable worth. The silence that addicts him, the silence that makes him question his own worthiness, emanates from a throne built upon the bedrock of unassailable self-value. Psychologically, this means your core sense of I am enough is completely decoupled from his attention, his approval, or his presence. A woman operating from this level of security doesn't use silence to test his interest. Her silence is a natural byproduct of her being so engrossed in her own rich, fulfilling existence. Her stillness is not a tactic. It is the organic state of a person so whole that she requires no audience to validate her reality. Think of a magnificent ancient mountain. It doesn't tremble with anxiety when hikers ignore it or badmouth its slopes. Its majesty is intrinsic, a fact of nature, whether it is witnessed or not. This is the energy you broadcast from your throne of worth. Your silence sends a powerful subconscious message. My presence is a gift, my attention is a privilege, and my peace is non-negotiable. The Stoic principle here is living in accordance with nature, your own true, valuable nature. You are not performing worthiness. You are simply being it. A man isn't just lured by the mystery of your quiet. He is mesmerized by the vibrational proof of a woman whose value is entirely self-contained, forcing him to wonder not if you are good enough for him, but if he is worthy enough to stand in your magnificent silent aura. 5. The crown jewel of non-reactivity. True magnetic power is not found in being emotionless, a common misinterpretation of Stoicism, but in the Queen's absolute mastery of non-reactive space. When faced with a trigger, a disappointing text, a change of plans, a perceived slight, the average person reacts instantly, their emotions hijacking their behavior. They might lash out or, conversely, retreat into a cold, fearful silence. The feminine queen, however, has cultivated a sacred pause. Psychologically, this is the epitome of emotional intelligence. She feels the surge of anger, disappointment, or fear, but she does not become it. Instead, she retreats to her inner council chamber, a mental space where she can observe the emotion without being enslaved by it. This pause is the ultimate act of regal discipline, a steadfast refusal to allow external chaos to dictate her internal state. She treats her emotions like subjects presenting petitions at court. They are heard, considered, but not automatically obeyed as tyrants. Her response, when it comes, is born from deliberation, not desperation. This cultivated space between stimulus and response becomes her crown jewel, a dazzling testament to a self-governance so absolute that it commands respect without a single word. Men, who are often governed by impulse, instinctively recognize this quality as the mark of a true ruler, a woman who cannot be easily destabilized, manipulated, or controlled. All right, feminine queens, The powerful energy pulsing through this community is all thanks to you. We wouldn't be here without your incredible likes, your insightful comments, and your generous shares. Thank you for being the very heart of this movement. To keep this potent energy flowing and to continue our journey together, please keep it going and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a thing, and share this with another queen who is ready to claim her throne. I will love you forever for it. 6. The magnetic resonance of embodied truth. Ultimately, the captivation we speak of is not something you craft with tactics. It is the natural electromagnetic field emitted by a queen who is living in full alignment with her authentic self. Psychologically, this is about congruence, when your inner state, your beliefs, and your outer actions are all in perfect harmony. You don't have to perform confidence or act mysterious because you are the embodiment of a deep, centered truth. This resonance bypasses a man's logical, conscious mind and speaks directly to a primal part of his brain that recognizes authenticity. It is felt as an undeniable pull, not towards a carefully constructed persona, but toward the palpable reality of your being. Think of it like a rare musical frequency. It doesn't shout to be heard, it simply hums. And in doing so, it attracts only those who are naturally attuned to its unique, beautiful harmony. This is fortified by the stoic virtue of living truthfully. Your movements, your gaze, and yes, your silences, are not calculated moves in a game of chess. They are the organic, spontaneous expressions of a flourishing inner kingdom. A man isn't seduced by a game he can eventually figure out. He stands in reverent awe before the undeniable, powerful reality of a woman who is inhabiting her full, untamed, authentic essence. 7. Sovereign alchemy. Turning void into sanctum. When a queen strategically withdraws, she confronts a space that terrifies most people. The void of potential loss. The silence where his validation used to be. Psychologically, most people rush to fill this void with distractions. Binge-watching, frantic texting of friends, obsessive social media scrolling, all to numb the anxiety of being alone with their thoughts. The feminine queen, however, practices a form of sovereign alchemy. She sees this void not as a vacuum to be filled, but as a sacred sanctuary to be consecrated. She consciously transforms the leaden fear of abandonment into the shining gold of radical self-sufficiency. This space becomes her ritual ground, where she engages in acts of devotion to her own spirit. Her journaling becomes a communion with her higher self. Her creative projects become acts of worship. Her solitude becomes an audience with the divine within. This is the Stoic practice of turning obstacles into opportunities. The obstacle of his absence becomes the opportunity for profound self-renewal. This sacred space doesn't cry out for his return with a needy emptiness. It resonates with the vibrant fullness of her own rich inner kingdom. A man doesn't feel needed to complete this picture. He feels an overwhelming compulsion to witness its breathtaking wholeness. 8. The regal gaze, seeing beyond the suitor's facade. Should he return, drawn back by the gravitational pull of your silence, the interaction that follows is critical. The woman operating from a place of fear and lack meets his return with a gush of relief, instantly dissolving her power. The feminine queen, however, meets him with her regal gaze. Psychologically, this gaze is not one of suspicion or coldness, but of calm, discerning observation. It is the look of a sovereign on her throne, assessing a petitioner who has requested an audience. She sees not just the man standing before her, but the energetic echo of his past actions, and the true character behind his present words. Her powerful stillness is not a passive waiting game. It is an act of active witnessing. Has he approached with genuine self-reflection and a desire to meet her standards? Or is he returning with a sense of masked entitlement, assuming his place is guaranteed? Her regal gaze, unclouded by the fog of neediness, becomes a powerful mirror that reflects his truest intentions back at him. This is the embodiment of Stoic wisdom, seeing things as they are, not as you wish them to be. He doesn't feel judged, he feels profoundly seen, perhaps for the first time, at a depth that either compels his utmost authenticity or quietly reveals his inadequacy to be a consul in her realm. 9. The unassailable sanctuary. Within the ultimate power of the feminine queen, the source of her unshakable and magnetic silence, is the creation of an inviolable sanctuary within her own psyche. This is a fortress of the soul that external storms, his moods, his inconsistencies, his presence or his absence, simply cannot penetrate. Psychologically, this sanctuary isn't built from the flimsy bricks of denial or emotional suppression. It is forged in the crucible of her soul, built from the integration of all her life experiences. The joy, the sorrow, the longing, and the triumphs have all been melted down and reforged into the steel of wisdom. Within this inner sanctum, she is utterly self-contained and self-soothing. His presence is a wonderful addition to her world, a beautiful landscape to be enjoyed from her window, but his absence cannot shake the foundation of her castle. This fortress emanates a palpable aura of safety and security, but it is not the cloying safety of dependency. It is the profound security of a self-sustaining universe. This aligns with the ultimate Stoic goal, eudaimonia, a state of flourishing that comes from within. Men are not repelled by this incredible strength. They are irresistibly drawn to its promise of refuge, a place where they can finally exhale, knowing they are standing beside a pillar of strength, not a clinging vine. 10. The Eternal Crown. Wholeness as irresistible legacy. In the end, the feminine queen's mastery lies in the profound understanding that her allure is not a temporary diadem borrowed from a man's attention, but an eternal crown forged from her own wholeness. She leaves an indelible mark on the psyche of a man, not through calculated manipulation, but through the unforgettable resonance of a fully integrated human being. The legacy she leaves is not merely being remembered for her beauty or her wit. It is the far more potent act of becoming an archetype within his soul, the living embodiment of self-possession that he will find nowhere else. Her presence, and indeed her powerful silence, becomes a timeless melody that echoes in his mind long after their interaction. Not because she clawed for his attention, but because the pure vibration of her sovereign wholeness fundamentally altered his own frequency. His return, or his lingering fascination, is not a victory she needs to claim. It is simply the evidence of his own awakening to the undeniable truth that the only throne truly worthy of a man's respect and allegiance belongs to a queen. The secret, my ladies, was never about the silence itself. It has always been about the woman behind the silence. It is about the inner work you do to transform your silence from a space of fear into a sanctuary of power. It is the shift from hoping he doesn't leave to knowing, with every cell in your being, that your own presence is the greatest prize. This is not a destination, but a continuous, beautiful practice of self-reclamation. You are not learning a tactic. You are remembering the sovereign power that has been within you all along. You are a feminine queen, and your journey is one of profound self-creation. The path illuminated by Carl Jung's insights into the psyche and fortified by the unshakable principles of Stoicism is your birthright. Embrace the silence not as an absence, but as a presence. Let it be the quiet hum of your inner kingdom, a testament to your unassailable worth and your unwavering grace. Let it be the space where you meet yourself, heal yourself, and build yourself into the monarch you were always meant to be. I want you to leave here today and reflect on this. When you are quiet, does it come from a place of fear or a place of fullness? What is one small action you can take this week to begin fortifying your inner citadel, to begin the sacred alchemy of turning your own void into a vibrant sanctuary? Your power is not in his response. It is in your own unwavering commitment to your throne. Thank you for joining me here at Feminine Queen. If this message resonated deep within your soul, subscribe to the channel and join our community of powerful women who are choosing wisdom over worry and sovereignty over submission. Click the notification bell because our journey together is just beginning. Your throne awaits. Claim it.